Hey everybody, Rick here with Departure Heaven. Today's date is April 18th. The time is moving quick, folks. I cannot believe it's already past the middle of the month already. This year is really flying by fast. Folks, I just saw this video right here a little bit ago, and I want to give you my thoughts and opinion on it. His name is Steve Ram. I'm a subscriber of his channel. Please subscribe to his channel. He's got really lots of good information on his channel. He keeps up to date on the news as it breaks. Okay, Steve, just doing a shout out for you. Hope that's okay with you, man. I'm just gonna play a little bit of his video. I have learned today, folks, that Israel has delayed its attack twice this week. Okay, and I'm going to play that first before he starts talking, okay? So let's do that now. Go down here to his video source, okay? And right here, I'm going to play this, all right? Real quick before I even begin.
Iran for its drone overseas.
All right, here we go.
Overseas now to the situation between Israel and Iran. The U.S. is set to announce new sanctions against Iran for its drone and missile attack this weekend as Israel waves a response. Matt Gutman is in southern Israel for us. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Behind me is one of Israel's Iron Dome missile batteries, part of that anti-missile network that knocked most of those Iranian missiles out of the sky. Not only did it save lives, but it bought Israel time, which is one reason 4 days in that we've heard so little from the Israeli government. The Israeli military saying that there has to be some sort of military response. British and American officials say it's likely to be limited in scope, and Israeli analysts tell me that the likely options are something like a covert action or even a symbolic attack against some sort of Iranian facility. But there are also major diplomatic efforts. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen saying that the U.S. will soon impose sanctions on Iranian missile and drone programs, and that U.S. official telling me that the more diplomatic wins the U.S. can provide Israel, the more it is likely to mitigate Israel's military response. Meantime, in Gaza, not far from here, the death toll continues to rise, and that U.S. official says that the Israeli impending invasion into Rafah has now likely been put off by several weeks.
Okay, so let's go back to Steve Ram, okay? Now, folks, I'm gonna let him talk first, and then I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this, okay? So let's go ahead and start off with his video.
Breaking news coming out that it is revealed when the retaliatory strikes by Israel will come against Iran. Now, this comes as we've actually received word as well that over the past week or so, over the past couple of days, there have been 2 nights where Israel was planning an attack and they aborted, and now they have changed the schedule. And I'm going to be sharing with you the latest that's coming out on this as we are awaiting, the world is waiting to see this response as Iran has launched for the first time an attack against Israel. It was the largest drone attack in history against Israel. There was drones, there was cruise missiles, ballistic missiles. 99.9% of them shot down, did not arrive to their destination. There was only a couple that broke through, and I shared with you before that a lot of people were saying that this was actually the Iranian cucumber attack, was what was being vocalized in the Middle East at the lackluster show that came from Iran on this attack. They declared it a victory, and Israel said that they must respond. Now, we had President Joe Biden and several other nations saying, claim it as a victory, as there was essentially no damage, no harm done. But Israel said, if we do not respond, it will send the message that in the future, Iran can simply attack us and we will not do anything. So
now, there's what I want to talk about. Right now, Israel delayed their return fire back to Iran, okay? Now, I know Israel's under a lot of pressure from the international community saying, don't do it. It's going to cause a regional war to be broader. In other words, it will entail, in other words, it will bring this war to a wider war in the region. And a spread of a bigger war could lead to you know what, folks, okay? And then Russia was coming out about us getting involved in Israel attacking Iran. Now, folks, this has been delayed twice. Now, the Lord, if he is going to come and get his church sometime when he is ready, when the Lord is ready to take his church out of here, the rapture of the church, He's got to do it in a timing of perfect timing, which he always has perfect timing, with, I believe, that will coincide with the wars that are going on over there. Okay? You know, God knows everything in the future perfectly. He knows every second of every minute of everything that's going to happen in the future. So he sees the results. If Israel would have attacked this past 24 hours, which we were hearing within the 48 hours it was going to happen, sounded like it was true by looking at that news article, because that's why I showed that to you first, then that would have probably caused something major that would have had devastation, ripple effect across the globe, and his church would have been affected. So I believe, in my opinion, that's why it's been delayed. Okay, so let's go on here to continue what he's saying, and I'll give you my thoughts and comments on this.
So they said that they will be responding. Now, we had heard initially that it was leaked out information that it could be happening within the next 24 hours of the attack. 24 hours had come and go. There was no response. Now we've received information as to when exactly we can expect to see this. Now, in addition to that, a lot of people are saying that this could be the start of World War III. World War III has been trending on the internet. People are searching, concerned about what's unfolding, especially after the warning that came out from the Colombian president, who said this is the prelude to World War III. What is unfolding right now all over the globe. Now, in addition to that, we are seeing articles coming out left and right. And also, I'm going to be sharing with you, as experts in the last 48 hours have been chiming in on anticipation for World War III coming with everything that's unfolding. This keeps popping up right now. Concerns of us entering into a global conflict, as the United States is involved in several different conflicts with Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, now Iran, and also anticipation for China and Taiwan as well. All of these building at this time. So I'm going to be sharing with you the latest information on this, letting you know exactly when this is going to be happening, because we've heard that when this retaliatory strike does happen, Iran has already said, if you strike back, we will hit you, and we will also hold you in the United States accountable. So we're anticipating this is going to be happening, and there will be an escalation. The question is, when and how will this unfold? And like I said, more updates coming up on this. I'll go ahead and share with you the latest. Skymaster messages are being broadcasting, says Sandy Fetty. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Sandy. I'm not really sure what that means, but I appreciate the $2 super chat, and I will continue to keep you and everybody up to date. I see we've got about 1,500 people with me live in the room. Do me a favor, please hit the like button if you appreciate the updates. And all the articles I'm going to be referencing, they are linked in the description below, along with resources to help out you and your family if you are looking to prepare for what's unfolding, taking all the necessary precautions to be ready for anything, as cyber attacks we've heard could be coming to the United States, along with other attacks, physical attacks, as we're hearing that they're crossing the southern border. They're already here. We're hearing about various cells in different cities that are simply sleeping, ready to wake and attack, with an orchestrated, coordinated attack simultaneously to wreak havoc on the United States, along with shutting down our water systems, electrical grids, our airports, our communications. And so if that happens, I have resources for you and your family here on the channel as well. So do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free.
Yeah, guys, do the same for my channel too.
Why not? And also newsletter free, those resources available. And if you're somebody that needs prescription medications, you want to have some backups just in case, we also have that available as well. So with that being said, though, let me go ahead and get you caught up on the latest. I'm going to be referencing the ABC News live updates that have been coming out, and I've seen this verified from several different sources. They're actually letting us know when we can anticipate this Israeli strike.
So here we are, folks. He's about to give off the possible date that they're going to strike. Personally, folks, I don't think Israel should be doing this, should be giving out their dates, plan of attack. Now, you know how the news is, folks. It gets twisted. And sometimes these news agencies will make up stuff just so you'll run over to their channel and watch their news all the time. I personally don't think, I don't know how Netanyahu would say that and give everybody, all the enemies out there, oh, they're attacking in this time window. You know, let's hit them first. You know, this gives the upper advantage to the enemy. So I don't know if these sources are accurate or not coming. I'm not saying Steve Ram is lying, but the sources may not be accurate, folks. even coming from a news agency. Let's continue.
Now, we had also heard that there would be a lot of support if Israel were to hit back Iran, retaliate sooner rather than later. But what you're going to be hearing here is that this is likely going to be happening later rather than sooner. Now, Israel was not initially planning this. However, let me give you the details of what is coming out. Sandy Fetty, $5 super chat. It means the U.S. bombers' highest alert message broadcasting. Yes, we are on high alert. Thank you for that, Sandy Fetty. And I'm sorry I didn't understand the lingo that you were using there. Prepare, says Seth. Best show on. Steve Ram says Randy Matthews. Thank you for that. Yes, I appreciate the kind words. Let me go ahead and get you guys caught up with the latest that's going on. I see we got 1,750 people in the room with me live already. So this coming out with the live updates. Israel, Gaza live updates. Israel, they've aborted 2 strikes that they were planning against Iran 2 nights this week. So already, as I mentioned, first we had heard it was going to be coming in the first 24 hours. This was leaked information. Now we're hearing that is not the case. Here is the information as to when we're going to be anticipating to see this Israeli response, the retaliation attack. This coming out today, it says Israel is not likely to carry out a strike until after Passover.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there, folks. After Passover. Okay, so you know what Passover is, folks. We all do. Okay, Israel is going to hold off, it looks like, until after Passover to give people time to observe this holiday, to do it in peace without worrying about a war on their doorstep while they're worshiping and doing their prayers and all that during Passover. Okay, so it's a good thing there that he's not doing. If he would have did this now, this would have disrupted all that holiday. So there's a delay, and I'm okay with that. You know, it gives people more time to get saved on top of it. Let's continue.
U.S. officials have said. Now, I had heard this coming out, rumored as well. Now it looks like it's coming out in the news media outlets official, and they're saying that this is because they want to give the Israeli people a time to worship for Passover, to be able to relax, to rest, and then after Passover, it's on. Israel is unlikely to carry out a strike on Iran until after Passover, a senior U.S. official told ABC News, although that could always change. So this, is flexible. But they're saying at this time, they're not expecting it till after Passover.
Now, also, Iran hears this, and they're saying, well, we can take advantage of that, and they may hit them during Passover. Imagine that. Iran says, well, they're coming to get us after Passover. We might want to hit them while they're all worshiping. And that's a high likely, folks, that will happen. Okay? Iran wants to inflict as much as pain possible on Israel, and they want to do it at a vulnerable time. So Israel better have your guard up really big time during those April 22nd to the April 30th. That's all that Passover will be going on for during that month, which is coming up here in a little bit.
Now, Passover, as you know, does not align with Easter and all the stuff that's going on this year due to the calendar scheduling, the leap year, the leap month that they have with the Hebrew calendar. So it's coming essentially a month after when the United States celebrated Easter. So Passover begins on Monday, and then it ends after nightfall on April the 30th. So April the 30th is when Passover will officially be complete. After Passover, they're saying that is when you can expect to see an Israeli response to what is unfolding in the Middle East. The Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and other leaderships are still on high state of alert.
Okay, let me stop it again, folks. We know that there's, after the eclipse, April 8th, begun that 41-day countdown of repentance. 40 days and the extra day with it. Okay? Folks, it is also my belief that the Lord is probably going to delay this attack. And I say the Lord's going to do it because the Lord will allow these things to go on for his reason and for it to fit into God's time schedule for things to events to unfold to meet the perfect timing for the rapture of the church. Okay? Obviously he's not ready to rapture his church yet, because we're still here, and the war and the retaliation hasn't begun yet. Okay? And, we look at that from that angle and we say, okay, I can see why he's delaying it. And he's also could be waiting till the end of the 40 days of repentance and then make his move on his church by rapturing us. And like I said, that will fit into the war response from Israel.
With some in safe houses and underground facilities, officials have said. Now listen to this. Israel has aborted strikes against Iran 2 nights this week, sources have said. So they were anticipating striking early. As I mentioned before, we had heard initially that they were going to be coming out in 24 hours. Now we're hearing that is not the case, and they're actually going to be delaying. Madison, thank you for the $2 super chat. It says, we need you now, Trump. And I saw all those 45s pouring in of all the people that agreed that it was time for former President Donald Trump to step in and take control. A lot of people saying that they feel like...
Folks, quit relying on any president to stop all this. The Antichrist is who is going to be able to stop this, folks. It all ends with the Antichrist and the rapture of the church. I'm telling you right now, it looks like the Lord is leaving this up to the Antichrist to stop this war. That is how close we are to going home, folks. This is just my opinion on that. I could be wrong. We'll see. But I know the rapture is coming, and I know the Antichrist is coming. I'm not wrong about that, but I believe this will end with that. It's just my opinion on that. And if nobody is willing to come to the negotiation table, folks, then who's going to stop all this? Think about it.
Now, listen to this. Israel prepared for and then aborted retaliatory strikes against Iran on at least 2 nights this past week. 3 Israeli sources have told ABC.
Yeah, I believe the Lord's hand was played into that to keep that from happening. If the Lord was ready right now to get his church out of here, because we know what kind of response that would have created, folks. Russia would have gotten involved and China would have gotten involved. Russia said that if we end up helping Israel to strike back in Iran, or if Israel strikes, Russia will not sit around. They will do something about it. That means militarily they will defend Iran. That will be World War III, folks. Like I said, the Lord has delayed this. He's not ready yet. I'm sorry, folks, if you're wanting to get out of here this week. We were all hoping, right? Well, not yet. See it as a blessing, because that's more people that'll be saved up to that point.
ABC News. Iran attacked Israel with more than 300 drones and missiles on Saturday night into Sunday morning local time in Israel. Israel has been weighing how and when to respond to Iran's attacks since then, holding war cabinet meetings on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Anita Pupo, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. You are awesome. I appreciate the support. Iran attacked Israel with more than 300 drones and missiles on Saturday night and into Sunday morning local time with Israel. Israel has been weighing out their response. Now, the members of the Israeli war cabinet are Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Ministers Benny Gantz, and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Now, a range of responses they have been presented to the Israeli war cabinet. The potential responses include options ranging from attacking Iran's proxies in the region, but not on Iranian soil, to a potential cyber attack, sources have told ABC News, and I've heard this as well. I've not yet confirmed it, but I've heard a lot of people saying anticipate cyber attacks coming from Israel to Iran, shutting things down. And they're also talking about the oil of Iran. They're saying that they could hit that. Let's actually not physically attack them like they did to Israel, but let's knock out their infrastructure for their economy, for their resources. Let's cripple them for what they have done. So we will see. Let me know your thoughts. Instead of launching missiles and attacks, maybe doing some behind the scenes cyber attacks, hurting them in the pocketbook, hitting their economy. Now, there was no war cabinet meeting on Wednesday, but Netanyahu told his government cabinet that while he appreciates the advice of the allies, Israel will make our own decisions, and the state of Israel will do everything necessary to defend itself. And we had also heard that Benjamin Netanyahu disregarding the comments from President Joe Biden, who was saying, just consider it a win. Just take it on the chin and walk away. They launched 300 missiles at you, but there was no damage done. Just simply de-escalate the situation by stepping away. to which they said, we must respond. If we do not respond, this will be a sign of weakness. And also, too, they said, what would the United States do? What would the United States do if a neighboring country, let's say Mexico, suddenly launched 300 missiles at the United States and we shot all of them down? There were no casualties. Only a couple landed, say, in the state of Texas in empty fields, and there was one loss of life. Would the United States just take it on the chin, count it as a win since there was no damage, and not respond? What message would that send? Let me know if you agree with Benjamin Netanyahu. Put yes if you agree with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Okay, guys, I'm going to shut this video down, okay? But, folks, right now what gets me about all this is, you know, Israel's got a very strong army. They got a very strong military, that is. And personally, I would not, if a bully pushes you down in school and keeps beating up on you every day after school, you know, Jesus said we need to turn our cheek and let him strike you. Okay, I get it. We're to love our enemies and forgive our enemies. Okay, I get it. But this enemy here keeps on doing it, like the bully in school, folks. What are you supposed to do in a situation like that? Keep letting them hit you? You know, to show weakness. You know, Israel doesn't want to show any weakness. They're going to respond regardless to this war. Question is how? Are they just going to hit the proxy sites and not hit Iranian soil? Or are they going to hit directly in Iran? Okay? Are they really going to hit Iran all out and harder than Iran hit them? To send a message that way Iran doesn't think about doing it again. Stopping the bully ultimately. Or are they just going to hit them with cyber attacks and a few small sanctions, which won't even do anything to Iran probably? Or it may take 6 months to take effect, while Iran can just sit there and say, well, we got plenty of time, let's hit them again and again before all the sanctions take effect. No, folks, Israel would probably jump right in and hit them harder, right on their soil, to send a message. Show them that Israel isn't playing, and no one should hit Israel. Okay, well, like I said, you know, God has got his timetable set up, the exact timing of everything that's going to happen in the future. And he's got to line it up with the rapture and the Antichrist, folks. This is what we're seeing. This delay, I believe, it was partly an act of God. I think God stopped this war from happening because he saw something major coming after that attack. If Israel would have gone through and they hadn't delayed those attacks this past 48 to hours, it looks like, we would have seen something we've never seen before, which would engulf all the countries into a third world war, folks. This would have happened. I think the Lord saw it in the future in the next 48 hours. So we would all been on live on our YouTube channels while Israel's hitting Iran with missiles and everything, seeing cities being blown up all over Iran. And then we would see Russia bringing their planes over, getting ready to hit Israel. All that probably God saw if this would have happened this week. And he says, nope, that he would have had to pull his church out of here and yada, 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 the Antichrist. And of course, you guys would have loved that because we would have got to go home early. No, folks, it's not going to be that easy, folks. We're here to occupy still on this planet and to be about the Lord's business and to be busy for the Lord. Even if it takes another year to get out of here, I don't care, folks. In fact, the longer we're here, the less people that won't have to go through the tribulation, and more people will be saved. But at the same time, I do want to go home. Okay, I'm tired of all this stuff we're seeing every day. But at the same time, we are to be patient. Patient, period. God has patience. Why can't we have patience? So let's be patient, folks. Stop hyping your videos up, saying, oh my goodness, it's coming today, like some people out there are doing, overhyping it, because we don't know, folks, what the Lord is going to do in the next couple months. Now, if this thing doesn't kick off and we don't see any big responses from Israel, then it's pretty clear that the Lord's waiting until September, folks. Okay? And September is a big rapture high holy month to wait, to start looking up. Because we know what goes on in September. They look for the rapture in that month. Now, if this thing gets delayed all the way to September, and then it all starts happening, and then everything goes the way we thought would go, or nuclear war breaks out, Russia gets involved, the whole 9 yards, Ezekiel prophecy happens in September, then we know September is what God was waiting for all along. And that explains this delay that we're seeing right now. Now, if we see something happen within this 40-day waiting period after April 8th eclipse, and we all see it all break out, then it's pretty clear God is going by that 40 days, and he's not going by September deadline. September is the deadline, I think, for the rapture this year. After September, folks, if it doesn't happen, then we might be waiting for it again in 2025. And I'm sorry, folks, if you're not like hearing that. I know that's not easy to hear right now, that we may be waiting another whole year for the rapture if it doesn't happen all the way this September this year. That means, it's probably going to drag on another 12 months after this September of this year. I know that's not easy to hear, folks, but we got to be patient. Be about the Lord's business. Okay? And please don't overhype any of this stuff, because when you do, people get excited. They get overly excited, and then it doesn't happen. Then they get burnt out quickly on the rapture, and then they don't want to watch these channels anymore. My father today was getting a little antsy about it. He's like, Rick, man, this is getting a little ridiculous. We thought this was going to happen. We thought a war was coming this week. And he was getting a little impatient. Okay, guys? Let's not get impatient. Alright, guys. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscribe button. It's free to do. Hit the like button for YouTube algorithm so they can find our videos easier. I will see you next time. Okay, tomorrow we'll see what happens. Any type of videos, any type of extra news comes out about this, which I highly doubt it, since we already probably know that they're delaying this probably till after Passover, which gives us to April 30th. We'll see, folks. I'm not going to get too excited about this, because we know that God is patient, and this could drag on all the way till September before we see anything major go down. It could. And I'm saving you right now from getting overexcited about this. So that way you walk away from this video saying, okay, I'll be patient. And some people will overhype it and make it sound like it's coming in the next 24 hours, and the rapture's coming in the next 24 hours. And then nothing happens, and you just destroyed that person's hopes for that day. I mean, or for whatever, and they don't want to watch these channels anymore. Let's not do that, folks. Say it. Let's get realistic here and talk the real facts, what can really happen. Just don't get on here and blast it out on your channel and overhype things and making it sound like, oh, it's getting ready to happen. The rapture's coming in 24 hours. Okay? And worst of all, don't do what some channels are doing and literally set a date for the rapture. And we know who those people are, folks. Alright, guys. I will talk to you all later, guys. Love you.